Oh shucks. Deep recon into West Virginia. So I'm parked here on the edge of Shenandoah Mountain. We've got the Grail out and ready to ride some stuff I've never ridden before. And obviously it's a strange time to be way out in the wilderness by yourself, but I left my wife at track. She knows where I'm going, and hopefully I'll be back here to my van in about 6 hours or so. Yow! A little snack. Now I'm gonna descend into the wilds. It's on the backside of Reddish Knob now. We used to use this dirt road climb in the Alpine Loop Grand Fondo. I'm gonna descend about halfway down and then start heading south onto uncharted territory for me, so kind of exciting. And in search of Sounding Knob. So that's the mission today. Yes. Yeah. Whoa. Yeah, fresh gravel. So I'm up here on Vepco Road, middle of nowhere, northwest Rockingham County. One of my favorite areas to ride, but just stunned. I mean, that's what it looked like just a month ago, and they've just done this work on it. So totally stoked. Gonna put together a huge gravel route called Ron de Van Gravelen. Since Ron de Van Vlanderen was canceled this year, I figured, you know. So check this out, pretty sick. got it. Oh, that was kind of a risk going for this KOM. I knew I was out of food. All I have is a granola bar, and I've got about 40 miles that way to ride home. But yeah, it's kind of what makes me good at what I do, is I put it out of my head and I try to make deals with myself. So I was like, I'm just gonna finish this climb like it's the last of the day, but now I'm gonna have to limp. It's gonna be a little rough. So I'm going to share with you guys some of my favorite sort of routing tricks, tools, and stuff like that. So one of my favorites is Strava. And so if you go to Strava and you have a premium account, you can check out some really, really neat tools that they have. Basically utilize their heat map, or the amount of times people have ridden a route. The way to do that is to go up here, the top left-hand corner. So what's really cool about the heat map on the route builder is it's everyone's heat map. So there might be a section of trail like the one I'm trying to explore way over here in the middle of nowhere, and I need to sort of sort out whether or not, you know, the section goes through. And you can see by this little blue line on the back side of the mountain that in fact someone has been riding this sort of section here. Not a lot, but you know, someone has been riding it. And I think the other thing is you can toggle between map layers, but it's not nearly as good as some of the other options. But remember the global heat map. The heat map is really cool. I'm going to show you a super cool trick is toggle to run. So anytime you don't see a connector you think exists, don't forget to look at the run. So if I look at an area that people run a lot, you can see all these different little, you know, not shortcuts, but rather little trail segments and trail sort of connectors that'll pop up. That I'll typically use, or my most, there we go. There we go. So this is really interesting because, you know, if you look through here, like nobody rides this North River Trail. So this North River Trail doesn't even look like it exists if you look at the riding heat map. Here you also see all the single track that I personally know is there because I've been there, that goes around the lake. Super cool, neat little tip. Pro tip number 376. The routing tool's okay. It's a little clunky, honestly, on Strava. Strava is where I do rough drafts, you know, where I like look at stuff, look at connectors, you know, try to find things based off the heat map. But then I'll go to some other real websites for actual route building. Yeah. Time to go into the wilds. Wow. Pretty stoked to check this out. Should be kind of cool. Yeah. Twisty, turny. I think the best websites for route building would definitely be Ride with GPS. Ride with GPS has a number of tools. Their route planner is pretty good. It's got terrain, satellite. It has different types of settings like points of interest, bike paths, and has a good number of layers, not a crazy number of layers, but enough where you can get some pretty good information based off of like the land use. You've got terrain, and I think the best thing about Ride with GPS is that with the number of people that use it, you can put in searches, within 50 miles of Harrisonburg, for example, and punch that in, and you'll come up with a bazillion routes. And people can upload pictures, which is really pretty cool. I don't know if the pictures are geotagged, but geotagging is also kind of helpful. One reason I do like Strava. But anyway, yeah, you look at the routes that you see on Ride with GPS, the tools and filters that you have in order to find routes. It's pretty darn cool. It also has route types, so I think when you look at cyclocross, sort of is what I put in my gravel rides, and then cycling for road rides and mountain bike and so forth. It's a pretty decent resource, and I think it's very good for route planning. We use that for the Alpine Loop Gran Fondo, and I also use that for sort of a lot of my route creation. Another one of my favorite websites, let me see if I can jump to ViewRanger. ViewRanger is probably the least known about here in the States. It's a British website, but there are some super cool features to it. They've got a beacon, so if you're a premium customer, you can have this sort of beacon where you can, have live tracking and sort of like show people where you are. But this one's pretty cool, I think, because it has a real neat credit system. So if you create credits, you can, I guess it goes towards your account or something like that. But but you can also record tracks. So this is somewhat similar to, I guess, Trailforks has this. Of course, Strava has this. I don't use it very much, but it does have a social component where you can have people's tracks, like their stuff, and have routes that you can purchase with credit. So kind of like make a route, get a route type thing. I don't know. I think the thing about this one is when you're kind of creating routes, it has a good number of layers, more layers than the other websites. So that's something that I really do like about this. If you kind of look at different options, so if you look on the right-hand side, you'll see it has USGS slope with trails. So this one actually has how steep it is, and you can see some of the areas, west of Harrisonburg are very steep. Some of these ravines, and especially the backside of Shenandoah Mountain. And you can even see cliffs and other impassable sort of boundaries, and you'll especially see those in west of Brandywine, some of the cliffs, Fisher Mountain and North Fork Mountain. You see the cliffs that are out there on the trails, and so not to route anything through there. OpenStreetMap, OpenCycle, even Google Map layers, ski, transportation. Yeah, so some really neat map layers that this website has, which puts it definitely in my top 3 for routes. Pretty cool. What the hell? gravel. As far as service roads in the middle of nowhere. So to see it freshly worked on, perfect. Wow! Oh my gosh. Yeah. So this road is a tough section called the Three Sisters on the Big Bear Loop. Right now it's really nice for gravel, and I'm gonna ride the section that is good for a gravel bike, and then go up. You can kind of see a cut diagonal up to that little, I guess, little shiny thing. Don't even know what that is, maybe a truck or something. But yeah, to see it in this shape, holy crap. I'm gonna have to come out here for the Big Bear Loop again soon too. But right now, this is just rolling awesome. And this is sick because it's part of this 619 gravel road is really pretty nice to be after last night's rain and 3 days ago snow out here, but it is spring. Oh, here we go. Once again, blurring the fine line between adventure and dumbassery. I hope it's just this one mud hole. This one is, of course, MTB Projects, so we'll go over this one first. Then we'll get the Trail Forks. But as you see here, this is the Rockstar. You know, they only have like 3 trail layers on here though, guys, so it's kind of like you're not going to see a lot of the old logging trails. You're not going to see abandoned Forest Service trails that used to exist, CCC built stuff, for example. That you're going to see in the historic layers, you know, the scanned historic maps on CalTopo and on Ride with GPS, in some cases also on ViewRanger. But the thing I do like about this is it's well curated routes. So for kind of like a quick hit, you know, kind of like, all right, I don't want to mess around looking for a map. I don't want to mess around with some dumb, you know, hiking through brush and trees and down trees and crap. I want a good route. I want a good ride, and I want it now. So that's where MTB Project shines. You know, you can kind of pick up, you know, some good routes, you know, kind of pop in and get, you know, a good loop, 12-mile loop, Narrowback Mountain. Bang, there you go. You've got some pictures. Need to sign in, I guess. Anyway, so it's got photos, you know, allows you to kind of get some reviews. This one, people are giving it 3.5 stars. 3.7 out of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 3.7, really, guys? Man, Narrowback's awesome. I don't know, man. I'm gonna give that at least. Anyhow, so that's this loop. One of our local trails. Trail Dynamics built it. It's fun. It's good. It's got some features built for riding. Log rides, jumps, really fun stuff. But as a search, this one I think ranks probably tops for mountain biking. Obviously for road riding, Ride with GPS, very, very strong. They also have a hiking project. So if you want to look up trail running and trail hiking, then you'll see some of the other trails that aren't populated to the mountain bike layer yet. For example, Car Mountain Trail, which was a huge build up here in the northwest portion of Rockingham County, doesn't even show up here. And that's because of one of the weak points for MTB Project. It's not really user-friendly to add trails and trail layers. You know, that's kind of not really a strong point for it. The other one that, of course, is quality is Trail Forks. And Trail Forks is, like I said, really neat because you have this profile, you know, and you can be social, add stuff, rank stuff. You know, it's got weather, trail photos, and then it also has trail rankings as well as condition updates. And the thing that I do like about this is that you can add a trail pretty easily. It's pure. So I added a trail recently, Home Quarry. You can go in and say the trail sucks. You can say the trail's rad, whatever. You can add some pictures. So it's sort of like everybody's adding on each other's work, which is super cool. I really like that user propagated element to it. Um, the maps, and the number of trail layers are starting to get up online where they're really getting a large number of the trails. I'd say that probably 70% of the trails that are good to ride a bike on are on MT or on Trail Forks at this point. And probably 80% that are good on MTB Project, at least for the Mid-Atlantic of the United States. Um, I think where Trail Forks probably shines is globally. They have a lot more trails on there. And like I said, it's easier to add stuff. So I added Car Mountain Trail. I really need to add sort of like a, route that people can, do on the Car Mountain Trail, for example. But at least it's on there. And you can see west of Harrisonburg, this hundreds of miles of single track with trail rankings. One of the features that's super cool about this is one of my favorite trails of all time, Death Star, but trail number 1025 is what they're calling it. And what's neat is if you view the trail, not only do you get profile information, but one of the ways these guys really kick butt is that you actually have slope data about the trails. So if you want to really get into it, you can get a 3D tour. You can have take a look at the photos. You can upload videos. I think that's really, really a neat aspect to what Trailforks is doing. Is very specific to users that want to do their homework ahead of time, and they've got options for um, trail fly-throughs. You can see slowly descends into West Virginia, and yeah, I mean it's kind of a long, long descent. I mean it's super, super cool. Shoots, drops, a couple neat little features along the edge of the trail. Over here on the right-hand side, you can kind of see where this trail heads predominantly northwest. Pretty handy. I think it's pretty handy stuff. And I'm saving the best for last. Caltopo. Caltopo is the jam. Holy crap. First time I found this website, I was stuck on here till like 1 in the morning because it's freaking amazing. Yeah. Why is it amazing? Well, because it has everything. I mean, you basically take MTB Project, add Ride with GPS, multiply it by all the awesome stuff that Trailforks has. The only thing it doesn't have is user propagated information, but this is also the hardest to use. It is a cartography tool. I mean, this is no joke. Very in-depth um, map building platform where you've got scanned, Forest Service maps, hybrid maps, terrain maps, National Park Service maps. Some of my favorite, including the historic maps, where they actually scan these old map layers. Yeah, and of course you've got the standard, OpenStreetMap and OSM, cycle maps and things like that. But you kind of can create your own blend. So I like Map Builder Topo, and then I will put in another layer where I have like a sort of a shaded relief, sort of enhanced shaded relief, and so that gives you an idea of the slope. These trails are labeled with distance, and then you can also see, um, you know, where the property boundaries are, which is, of course, pretty important if you're riding out there in the wild and you don't want to be trespassing. So check it out. It's a little complicated, but it is also totally worth it because you can really get the nitty gritty on all these logging roads and connectors, things that people have not been on in a long, long time, and create maps. And so that's about it. Um, So hope you enjoyed my tips for master route building, and make sure to subscribe to In the Wheelhouse with Jeremiah Bishop. Ahoy!